So in the last time we had our session, one of the homeworks was managing with emotional intelligence. So managing with emotional intelligence is a really important topic for any people manager leader, in other words, not just in sales, not in customer service only. Anyone who is in charge of a team and leading a team needs to understand what's emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence, and why is it called emotional intelligence? It's basically the how intelligent you are when you are navigating emotions of yourself and also of others when you are dealing with them. Okay? So how can you understand your own emotions and not mistranslate it? And also, same thing for your peers, colleagues, reportees, whoever you are working with, okay? And how can you use the right intelligence of emotions, in other words, so you can satisfy the goals that you're trying to reach and make sure that the team you are managing, you are properly managing them also emotionally, not just performance-wise, not just admin stuff and so on. And also to achieve your goals and to work together in a team, you need to know how to be emotionally intelligent. So in other words, in a lot of scenarios, someone, let's say, is blocking your process. Stuff goes to his plate and stays there for longer than it should. There is multiple ways to solve this, but it's not about solving, it's how you solve, because how you solve it will make a very big difference. If you solve it by forcing, this will be temporary solution, and this issue will happen again and again. Okay? If you send an escalation or, like, go and fight with the guy and yell at him that he's not doing his job and things like that, things will get even worse. Maybe he will finish the task at hand right now, but this will remain happening in the future. But the right way is how to make the person himself want to finish this for you, and also in the future, whenever something you need help with and you need it quickly, for example, he will do it because he want to help you, because he likes you as a person. He respects you as a colleague, but that's what all emotional intelligence is about. That you actually not make people only respect you, but they also like you, so they want to help you. Okay? So you can go and say, for example, to someone of your stakeholders, hey, I need this done tomorrow. It's been on your plate for 3 days. This is not acceptable. Okay? Or you can go and talk to the person and talk to him, hey, X, so the certain task has been overdue. Can I ask you, is there any problem, any support that I can help you with so we can get this resolved? Is there anything happening to you that's maybe interfering? Are you getting overwhelmed with the tasks that you are receiving from us? Maybe we can work another way for you to get things, and so we can make your life easier. Okay? Anything I can do to help you, definitely. You get where I'm coming from. And show the person that you are not against him. You're on his side as well. You want your stuff done, but you're being considerate that maybe this task was delayed because something happened to him. He had an emergency or something. So you need to show empathy. Talk to the person, offer your support, say, is there something I can help with? Things like that. You will earn credit that in the future it will be much easier for you to work with this person, because he will know that you are a caring person. You care about your stakeholders. You're not just a robot who wants part of the process to be done. You're talking to the person and seeing how you can make his life easier, so he can make your life easier. Because people always reflect on each other based on, as they say, you good deeds always come back, as they say. So do you imagine that if you go and support someone while he's in a tough decision, in a tough situation, he will have something that's called the feeling of reciprocity, which means that he will have an inner feeling that I need to pay you back this favor somehow. Okay? And same goes also for negative parts. If you go and give someone a hard time, he will keep waiting until he have the chance to give you a hard time. Right? Because he will feel that you made his life harder, so how can I make yours harder as well? Right? So this is how you can, like one of the examples, and emotional intelligence is something that we can talk about for days. And if we go through examples, it will take forever. So that's why it's a really important topic, and it's actually one of the core skills that you need to have as a human, not just as a manager or an employee or a salesperson or whatever, is how you can get things done for you or in your favor, get what you want, but at the same time, without losing people along the way, without creating enemies along the way. You get where I'm coming from? This is what's about emotional intelligence. And also, let's apply it more on the leadership part as well. So, part of emotional intelligence is how to phrase things, how to position things. Okay? So, you can go ahead and tell one of your team members, hey man, you're doing horrible. You need to work on that. Okay? That's not emotionally smart. Okay? What do you need? You need this person to improve, right? That's what you want. And this is why you said that. But you said it in this way. Maybe this person will give you a temporary commitment or temporary improvement, but he's not going to feel good about the words you say. Okay? But what if you go to the same person that you want him to improve and tell him, hey man, I trust you that you can do better than this, because I know how skilled you are. I know how much more you can achieve. Right? This will make the person feel that you trust him. So he will have more confidence in himself and he will not take it offensively. You get where I'm coming from? You're telling him, you're doing, by the way, the same message is given, which is he needs to do better. Alright? But this one was really negative and motivating for the defensiveness, the first one, which is you need to do a better job, you're doing horrible. And the other one makes the person feel responsibility and that he is capable of doing it. Right? So he will do it from the sense of responsibility and also self-confidence that he is able to do this. My manager trusts me that I can do this. And I can't tell you, like, these are not theoretical stuff that I'm telling you right now, by the way. These are applicable stuff. And don't get me wrong, I don't always do it in the right way. Sometimes I do it in the wrong way. But as much as possible, when I catch my thoughts that I want to say it in the bad way, I try to not to let this one slip and say it in the right and good way, which doesn't make the person feel defensive. Okay? So, nobody's perfect, guys, and you are not going to be able to do the right thing all the time. You try to do the right thing all the time, but you can't do it. Sometimes it will slip over you. Sometimes you will be too frustrated to think properly, to think clearly, and it requires clarity of mind so you can choose your words properly in order to achieve the same goal, but in the right way that lasts longer and doesn't create you haters or enemies, things like that. Doesn't mean you will always be perfect. So emotional intelligence, as I said, we can talk about it for very long. And also, this is when you're leading a team. Part of emotional intelligence is that you can't motivate each and every person in the same way. Some people need the recognition, some people need to feel that they are contributing somehow. Some people will not, doesn't actually take praise very well, and they might have it through an email better, not in person. Some people might need to be challenged to be motivated, that you give them a harder challenge than the previous one. You need to understand how each of your team member thinks and how he's emotionally motivated. All right? So you can actually manage a sales team successfully. Another thing also, if the emotional intelligence is your communication with your client, for example, you need to do it in the right way and in the smart way, right? And you need to deal with them in an emotionally intelligent way, which is, you can say, for example, hey, Mr. Client, your system is full of cracks, right? He will not like to hear that, right? Although it's true, but he will not like it. He might think that you are making excuses not to get your numbers. He might think that you are just criticizing and you don't like what they do and things like that. Okay? But for example, you can go and say something else about the same issue, and flag the same issue but in a better way, which is, I have noticed few deficiencies in the system right now, which I can see that if we solve these issues, it can help us to achieve more, which is going to bring you more results and so on and so forth. You know, you actually made it sound like you care about his own best interests, and this is something hindering it. You know, so he's not going to feel defensive about it. He's going to feel, okay, how can we solve this? All right? So always try to think about what you say and how can you say the same message but in a positive manner. Not just positive or fake positive. Just in a manner that doesn't make the other person defensive or feel that you're offending him or offending the, like the technology he's using or whatever, because the technology sometimes, and let's put it this way, we as humans stands for our selections. Always we do this. Even if we ourselves know that we made the wrong decision, we will still defend it. So for example, you purchased a phone that after you purchased it, you realize that it's not good. It's lagging all the time and things like that. If someone came to you and told you, hey man, what's this horrible phone you have? You're gonna defend it. No, it's great. Actually, I got it about this and this and this and that. Humans doesn't like to feel that they made wrong decisions, especially from others. They will tell that to them. They might be honest with themselves, but they don't like to be criticized for the selections they made. So you need to understand how humans in general thinks emotionally, and try not to pull a trigger that might fire back in your face and might give you the exact opposite of where you want to go. And I believe some of you guys now, while we're talking, are getting some memories about sometime you said something not in the smartest way possible, and it didn't actually, after it happened, you thought, yeah, I could have said it in a different way that could have landed better, on the other person. Right? Have you thought about something like that right now while we're talking? So this is truly, I can't stress on how important is emotional intelligence. I can say it's one of the most important, if it's not the number one important thing as a leader or as a sales manager. Like even with your client, like if you do a bad performance and the client like you, he will give you more chances. But if you do a bad performance and the client even doesn't like you, he will not be like, he will be counting the seconds to get rid of you. Right? So always think about how can I be liked from my client, from my team, as much as possible. And remember something, you can't satisfy everyone. You need also to try to balance between being emotionally intelligent and being too lean. You have to understand this point. Because sometimes people misunderstand being too lean and accommodating with being emotionally intelligent. You need to know when and who and why and how and what's the consequences of doing this, of saying this, of taking this action. Because if you become too lean to satisfy everyone, you will just have a chaos. So don't mix the two, because that's what I saw a lot of leaders falling in this trap of trying to be the Mr. Nice Guy that everybody likes. When every single body like you, you have to know that you're doing something wrong. You know why? Because some people will not like you. Anyways, some people. Because some people you will work with at some point doesn't like rules. And if you're not reinforcing rules, then they will like you. You know? Yes. So if everybody likes you, then okay. It's either you're extremely lucky and strong in your emotional intelligence, or you're being too lean. And just be careful with this fine line between the two. Okay? And think about everything you do. So this is talking about emotional intelligence. So I will leave a question right now for you guys to answer in the comments, which is, right now I will give you a scenario, which is, let's say you are a sales manager and you are working, for example, with, let's say, a trainer. And for example, the training quality that your team is telling you when they hit the floor is not up to the standards. And you want to talk to this sales trainer to help you improve this without offending the guy and doing it in a very emotionally intelligent way. Tell me, how will you do it in this scenario in the comments? All right? Thank you. So moving to the next point right now. So we discussed the first 30 days, client communication, interviews, also team building, and all these kind of things, right? So let's talk about a very important thing for leaders, which is time management. Time management is one of the biggest nightmares for a lot of leaders, that they can't figure it right. Okay? Because as a leader, you will be bombarded with hundreds of tasks. From the client, from your own team who needs stuff, from your direct manager, from your co-workers, from the interdepartmental stakeholders, like data, like marketing, like, HR, finance. You will have everybody sending you stuff, and you are asking them for stuff, and they're coming back, and a lot of things, a lot of stakeholders. And this grows with the level you go. So as a team leader, let's say you're dealing with 4 stakeholders. When you're a manager, you're dealing with 6 or 7 stakeholders. When you are a director, you're with 10 or 20 stakeholders that you're working with. So the more you go up, the more you will have stakeholders that you need to work properly with and make sure that you are working with properly. So your agenda for the day is not routine. Our job as sales leaders is never a routine job. You always have new stuff popping up. Issues between the team, issues with the client, system, CRM, you name it. Things that can pop up out of the blue. All right? So, time management is what do I need to do and when? And what do I need to do first? And then what do I need to do second? So, the trap that a lot of people fall in is making every single thing urgent. Every small task is urgent. Okay? And they get entangled into the ad hocs and they never finish a core task. Because ad hocs keep coming and they get dragged away from the core task and do the ad hocs. Then, when the time they get back, they forget what they were doing, so they get in another ad hoc and so on. All right? As a new sales leader, one of the mistakes you can do is being an email watcher. What's an email watcher? He's a guy whose face is stuck in his screen, looking for emails, answering chats, and that's it. You know? So, as an associate sales manager, you need to be close to your team. So you need to dedicate time of the day to read the emails and a time to sit down with your team, have quality time, some time for the coaching, some time for the, for the development. But how can I prioritize these stuff? Because no matter how much you will try to put everything in your calendar, a lot of ad hocs will come in. That's not on the calendar. So how can I prioritize? So there is something, I'm not sure if you guys know it or not, but it's called the Eisenhower matrix. I use it for quite a few years right now, maybe since 2020. I've been using it. And I found it quite useful for me. And I think you might find it useful as well if you tried it. If you didn't, you should give it a try. Maybe it can help you. The Eisenhower matrix, it's like 4 quadrants that you put the tasks in. The first quadrant and the most important quadrant, which is important and urgent. Okay, so this is do first. Important and urgent. So this one you need to do first. And this is the stuff you put in the first quadrant. The second quadrant is important but not urgent. Okay, so this is the thing that you need to put a deadline for yourself. You're not going to do it now. You finish the important and urgent, and then put a deadline for this one before you finish the first one. You put a deadline for the second one, let's say tomorrow. Because if you don't give it a deadline, what will happen is it will stay there and you will keep putting new stuff in the important and urgent. Until last minute in this one, and then becomes a critical, not important and urgent. It's critical to finish. And you don't want to go to the critical. Deadline mode. No. So, important and urgent, this is you handle first. But the important but not urgent, you put it in this quadrant, but you need to put it a deadline for it. Okay? And this is you are going to do second. And then there is urgent but not important. Okay? What do I need to do with this? urgent but not important.
Can you say an example for urgent and not important?
Let me get an example for you. Urgent but not important.
HPSS.
Urgent but not important. For example,
Maintaining the meeting stage.
so let's say a team member came to you about something that he needs to do right now on the CRM. Okay, so it's urgent. But this thing that he needs to do doesn't have an impact on the overall right now, right? Plus, it's not important that you need to handle yourself. Okay? So, usually in the urgent but not important, now you have urgent and important and urgent and not important. So, which one will you work on?
Urgent and
Urgent.
Urgent and important. So, how about the urgent but not important?
Maybe I have to assign it to somebody that can
Delegate it. Yes, you delegate it. Okay?
It's like the HBSS as
No.
it's a very simple.
No, this is a routine one actually. It's not, it doesn't fall in any of these buckets, I would say. It's different. Like it's a routine one that we do it every week. So,
Duplicate means.
for example, stuff like that. Other things, like for example, not important and not urgent. And this is the fourth bucket. Not important and not urgent, which is chit chats, for example. You know, someone is coming to your station just to spill the tea.
waste of time.
So time wasters, in other words. What do you need to do with? Eliminate, avoid it altogether in order to properly manage your time. Someone started a thread of joking, you know, so, and you're working on something right now that's important and urgent. You know, you try to avoid it. So, this is how you try to properly manage your time. And don't you ever forget to schedule your breaks as well. Because sometimes some leaders, what they will do is that they will fill the whole calendar with different tasks without breaks. You know what happens? They end up getting burned out. In a few months, they can't even do anything. You feel burned out, they are eating late and they are not having any quality time during their shift to take a minute to empty and clear their mind and things like that, and just work, and just eating on the station. This is the worst thing I don't like. One of the worst things literally that you can do is that you don't leave the floor and you're always on the station and eating on the station while you're clicking the mouse and things like that. You're not going to get a trophy for doing this. Okay? This is wrong. You're not properly managing your time. You know, one of the times actually, one of my previous managers, and he's a great leader, by the way. I love the guy so much. But he asked me, Moment, I never see you doing overtime as a leader. Okay? I told him, and why do I need to do overtime as a leader? Like we don't do hours, so we don't have billable hours. So our client is not gonna pay more, and you will not pay me for it. So why should I do it? He told me, yeah, but your friends, they stay late and they do this. I told him basically because I manage my time properly, so I get my stuff done before the end of the day. So why do I need to stay? Some people, they don't manage their time properly, so they end up staying late. And some leaders will misunderstand this, that they are hard worker and they are staying after the shift. They are staying after the shift because they wasted the whole shift. Okay? So that's not hard working. And that's not a smart way of managing your time. Okay? So, and also sometimes, because this is also sometimes misunderstood, some people are faster than the others. So, and also this can happen by experience and by time. So, for example, when you are new on Excel, something that would take me 5 minutes to do would take you a few hours to do because you don't know how. So you're gonna try this and try that and try this and try that and try this and try that until you figure it out. I did this hundreds of times. So with few clicks, I will do it. Okay? So don't confuse being busy with being productive. And try not to waste your time. And this is also part of the efficiently managing your time. That if something is new to you, and you will take time to figure out how you will do it by yourself, go and ask someone more tenured how he do it in a short time so you can do it fast. So it doesn't take you a whole day. Because if you do it your way and you spend few hours figuring it out, you're not gonna feel bad about yourself. You know why? Because you have been working the whole day. Nothing. You know? You've been hustling the whole day. So you feel good. I didn't waste any time today. I've been a productive guy and I worked and I did the hard effort. Right? But actually you wasted time by not asking how it's done. And doing it quicker. And you can handle something else on your to-do list in the spare time that you can have. Get where I'm coming from? So getting things done faster is another way also to manage your time properly. All right? So, in other words, how can you separate between a task which is important and urgent and a task which is important but not urgent?
Okay, for me, I would say that I'll be having like a daily agenda for what I'm gonna be doing today, regards like the business wise and also the personal wise for like the team. So I would prioritize everything like top 3 or 4 levels regards the business. So I would see like which part or which level would it fit in. So I will see if it's like a high priority thing that it needs to be done right now or not. And also I will see like if it's gonna be having an impact on the business or that thing will be having an impact on the personal level or the employee that I have.
Okay.
So yeah, I will try to differentiate.
So I understand that this is how you will try, but how can you tell? Because both are important, but one is urgent and one is not.
I would say you can give me an example. Maybe I can tell you.
Okay. So, for example, you need to create a script for your team, okay, to be better on the phone. This is a task. All right? And another task is that you need to answer a client request. For example, a client sent you a request this morning and you need to take care of this request. Which one will you put in where?
Okay, when it comes to the script that is needed to be done for the team to perform even like better next days, I would say that since it's already they are working and we are already like getting some like numbers, which is it can be average or even high. So since they are working and we are getting results already, they are like they can keep doing it, and then it's like I would say it's important but not urgent to have like a script right now. So maybe we can do it later, and also I can fit it like in small areas and small parts of the day, right? Improving like that script. Maybe if it's gonna be containing like 5 parts, maybe I can get like 1 part every day, right? So I would say it's something like important but not urgent to leave what I'm gonna be doing right now in my agenda to do that script. When it comes to the client request, I believe it's like high priority thing to be done. So I should be like looking at it and focus and getting it done like as soon as possible. So I'd say it's urgent and important also.
Okay.
Well, I do have another opinion.
So that's a really good perspective, Omar. And Bigol, you want to say your perspective? Go ahead.
I would say I could simply ask if it is an urgent matter or not, because maybe on the other hand, my sales team is failing and the script is really needed. So by the end of the day, I would never know what is urgent if I didn't ask.
Really, really good thinking, Bigol, which is because during this scenario that I said, I didn't actually specify if the client needs this request done today or can it wait for a couple of days, and what's the team situation in terms of performance. So I didn't specify. So of course it will depend on the case. So, and always try to understand how urgent things is. So don't automatically assume that things are urgent. So in other words, if your manager sends you a request, your manager of course is a top priority for you, right? So you will just rush out to finish the task the manager gave you. Did you actually think to ask him, what's the deadline for this? Can it be pushed for a week? Can it be pushed for a few days? Same for the client. You know, like you need to understand how critical and how urgent it is for the client before you can prioritize it. And that's why I intentionally give you example that I didn't give you timeline in. You know, for you to ask the client, okay, when do you need this done? Okay, because I have another task in hand right now. Can this one wait, or do I need to finish it first? You know, so that's a good example that we had, and a good two perspectives that we had, which is there is no wrong perspective here. It's just that you need to dig deeper into it, not to take things from the shallow part automatically to a specific place. You know, because sometimes actually, and I'm not saying this happens with all the clients, but it happens with very few clients. Some clients, they change directions very swiftly, like very oftenly. So today they want an analysis on this, tomorrow they want an analysis on that, after tomorrow they want analysis on something else, and they never continue anything. You know? And today they want to work with AI, tomorrow they don't want to work with AI, tomorrow they want a settler, after tomorrow they want to work with the spin. Sometimes they are not even actually sure what they want. So that doesn't mean anything they ask is urgent, because what matters the most eventually is your team performance. That's what you're going to be held accountable 100% for, you know. And being responsiveness, definitely. So and this is something you need to also talk about, which is being responsive doesn't mean that you need to finish the task and respond that it's done. You know, when you receive a request from the client, reply to the email saying, hey, this has been noted and I will start working on it, expected to finish X. Because if you don't reply, sometimes you say, I'm not going to reply saying that I got the request and then I reply again that I'm done with it. No, that's not good. Because sometimes the task might take longer from you. And you keep delaying the reply until you get it done. Then the client feels that you're not responsive. Although your intentions are good, I want to finish it first before I reply. No, reply, say you got the request. And if you don't know the timeline needed, ask about it. When do you need that? What's the deadline for it, or when do you need it? So you can understand more about how urgent it is. And then tell them, okay, I will be able to deliver it on this. Or if you can't actually deliver it within the deadline, don't fool yourself. If you know for a fact that this task will take longer than the deadline the client needs, you need to be transparent. It's better to push back from the beginning and say, hey, I'm really sorry, but I don't think this time is enough to finish this task. It's better than failing to deliver without proper expectations. you know? Because if you just said yes and tried to do it in time but you couldn't, you will be blamed eventually that why didn't you say that you can't deliver, because I could have given it to someone else who can do it in a shorter time. You know? So always have very transparent communication, especially when it comes to time and time management and what comes before what, and so on, between your manager, between yourself, between all these kind of things. And you need to know when to prioritize things. Okay? So time management is really crucial, and no matter how long we will talk about it, which is not going to be a good time management for the session. So, I think you got the message, and this is actually today's homework for this session, which is a course is called Time Management. You will find it on LinkedIn Learning. Please go ahead and do it, and we will discuss it next time, the key takeaways from it. And this is really important, guys, for you to master as leaders. Okay? So emotional intelligence, conflict management, time management, perfect. And right now we're talking about the first 30 days, right? All this preparation is for the first 30 days, why? And maybe some of you will be asking, why am I really focused on the first 30 days as a leader? Because it sets you after that for what comes next. Because if you set the right habits in the first 30 days, this is going to help you in the future to start with the right foundation as a mindset, and also in terms of your time management, your team building, your client communication. The first 30 days makes a big difference. Before you get overwhelmed with different tasks, you need to set things in the right platform in the right manner. So this is the first topic that we discussed today. Going to the next topic, also this is an important thing, and I think you guys, this is going to make your life easier as well, which is how to manage your pipeline properly, your team pipeline. Okay? So, and this topic maybe we will start, but I'm not sure if we will be able to finish it. Okay? But the sales pipeline, especially in a B2B motion, is like the spine of the job, that holds everything together. So on this spine, you have the top of funnel, which is, they call it the TOEFL, right? And the middle of funnel, which they call it MOFO, and bottom of funnel, which is called BOFO sometimes, because you might hear these in meetings. All right? So how can I understand my pipeline? Okay? First challenge you will have as a new sales leader managing a new sales team in B2B is their CRM mastery and hygiene. And the problem is, sometimes even this CRM is new to yourself as a leader. You didn't work on it before. Okay? So what do I need to do? You need to figure out the CRM yourself. And I'm saying this because if you don't have a CRM admin on your wing as a support staff, because some companies, by the way, assign a position for this CRM admin, that his whole job is just to manage the CRM, make sure the CRM is properly utilized. Okay? So if you don't have this title in your support staff, you need to do it yourself. Okay? Which is ensuring a proper CRM hygiene. Because in sales, your CRM, as I said, is the spine as well. The pipeline is represented in the CRM, right? So now the CRM is basically everything for you, right? Because on the CRM, you have the stages, you have the activities, you have the push rate, conversion rates, you have your team utilization, you have the closed deals, the closed rate, the closed won rate, the closed lost rate, the closed lost reasons, the dispositions. So without a proper CRM, you have no visibility. Okay? So the CRM is really important. And sometimes, I'm saying this might not happen to you, but it might happen sometimes, that you need to create the CRM pipeline yourself. To set the stages and to set everything there. The automations, you name it. I did it multiple times. And it's not an easy process, but at the same time, it's not that hard. You just need to find a good representation of each stage to your process. Because depending on what kind of motion you manage, it's gonna make a difference in your sales pipeline. So, for example, if you manage only a post-sales team, you're not gonna start with prospecting as the first step, right? You're gonna start from, for example, outreaching for upselling. Like whatever. How do you do it? And then you go to the rest of the process. If you manage a full cycle, then you will have the prospecting, which is, like you'll have the beginning of the pipeline, which is untouched leads, and then in pursuit, no contact, no answer, call back later, all these kind of things, which is, we call it working in our pipeline right now. And then you go to the next step, which is qualified, which is you booked the meeting, or you spoke to the person, or you understood, or DM reached. Depending on the motion you manage, you might name it different things. And then after that, how many DMs that was pitched, you managed to secure agreement outs or quotes sent, and so on. And from the quotes sent, how many was closed one, or how many moved to negotiation, and then from negotiation, how many moved. Okay? So you need to understand your pipeline, and you need to understand your CRM, and make sure both are clean. How can I ensure a clean CRM? The easy way to do it is automation. And how is automation? That actually you don't make the sales reps modify the stages themselves, which is based on each call disposition. It automatically moves the stage of the deal or the opportunity. And depending on each action they take on the system, it moves the code in a specific place. So, for example, one of the businesses I used to work with, we had absolutely no control over the pipeline or the opportunity stages itself. What we did is, we make the call, we talk to the person. If during this call, I clicked on the button that sends a code, the pipeline will move automatically to proposal center. Okay, because I clicked this button to send the code, right? If I close the code with connected not interested, it's gonna move automatically to closed lost with the reason not interested. You get where I'm coming from? So basically, this is the easiest way to do it, is to automate everything and make the human intervention in the pipeline stages push rate minimal. Okay? But to do this, you need a really good CRM admin who can create these automations for you. And you need to properly set everything in order to have a right CRM IG in terms of these points. But what's the other way to do it, which is the hard one, is making sure your team is doing it properly. And how can you do this? multiple ways. First thing, business awareness. You need to ensure that your team understands the importance of data. That, for example, some people will just open the deal and put it, let's say, in qualify. And then they do the whole process with the prospect. And then they just change it to closed won. From qualify to closed won right away. It didn't go to proposal, it didn't go to negotiation, it didn't go to anything. Just closed won. He closed the deal and he's happy. But you know what he did? He sabotaged your data. Because the actual deal cycle did not reflect on the CRM. So you don't know actually how many closed wins comes after how long, and each stage takes how long, so you have no idea what your sales cycle looks like. So you can't make a proper forecast for next quarter target, for example. You know? So you will just do target by luck. All right? Also, it will not help you to discover the bottlenecks in a specific part of the pipeline. So for examples, if you have most of the deals get stuck in the proposal sent and it doesn't close, then you will go investigate what happens exactly in this stage, and you will realize that yes, after we send the proposal, people stop answering, so it might be a pricing issue that people doesn't like our pricing, so when they see the price, they stop answering. Maybe we need to go revisit the price and see what's the market is doing. You know, it can give you insights if your pipeline is going right. You know, you can understand where's the bottlenecks. If, let's say, your bottleneck is from the point of proposal, new to meeting booked, then I have a problem with booking meetings. I can't get enough meetings. So that's why I have an empty BOFO, because my TOFO is not being done properly, right? So you will go listen to the cold calls, listen to the prospecting calls, understand what's going on. Do we need a better script? Do we need, to have some upskilling? You will understand where is the issue directly and go fix it. When you have a proper CRM IG. But when things move to new to closed win, you have no idea what's happening. This CRM is lost its value, right? So you need to explain the importance of data to your team and how this data analysis will help you help them. Okay? So, for example, we have meetings attended, but there is no proposals. So what's going on? So we need to audit the meetings itself to see what's happening inside the meeting. Where am I coming from? So definitely it makes your job way more organized when you have a proper CRM IG and proper pipeline management as well from your team. So you need to educate your team about the importance of this, the proper CRM IG. The second part also, you need to follow up yourself as well. So check the ops that was standing, for example, in the pre-qualify for more than 6 months. How come? You know, what's happening? It's stuck in the proposal for a year. Who's taking the decision in a year? No. So that will give you a better understanding as well. So you need to keep following up as a leader on your team sales pipeline to understand what's going where, you know. And there is something also as part of the bigger HPSS model when you are managing a full cycle. There is called deals drill review. That you actually sit down with your team and review the deals in the pipeline. What's happening with this deal? What's your bottlenecks? How we can help you solve it, and so on. You review everything in the pipeline with your team on a daily basis, on a stand-up huddle or something like that. This is actually part of the HPSS, but this is when you are a full cycle salesperson. So pipeline management is really crucial for a leader. So you need to know how to fix it properly. And I can tell you that right now, maybe some people doesn't like it, but if you don't have the right amount of tofu to start with, don't expect a bofu. Right? So when there is no input, how come there will be an output? Doesn't make sense, right? And you need to know your conversions. From call to appointment, from appointment to closed one, everything you need to know. So you can set up the right metrics for your team. You know? So for example, and this is something I use with you guys in the HPSS, which is connected to appointment. This conversion rate is really important for an SDR motion, because this conversion rate can represent how effective the representative on the phone. When he reaches someone, what is chances to book a meeting? So that can give you his on-call effectiveness, right? And other metrics like from lead to appointment, from lead to closed win. So how many leads does my team need on a monthly basis to get their targets? Everything you need to understand how it works and the conversions and the push rates as well. So you can understand how to reverse the process to set the right target from the tofu so you can reach the bofu. Get where I'm coming from? So I'm not gonna go deep into this topic because it's a very technical one and we can go very deep in different scenarios and topics. And I will actually tell you that CRMs are not hard. It just takes some time so for you to digest, understand how it operates, if it's already set up. Just spend some time there and you'll find it's pretty straightforward, but you just need to take some time and explore it properly and explore how it functions. And you need to raise the business awareness always about why is it important. Okay? I can tell you right now, a lot of companies until today in this world work with Excel sheets. You don't even have a CRM. Which is, I don't think it's the right way to properly manage a pipeline. And this is one of the red flags that I see in any company that I work with. First thing I ask, what's your CRM? If they say nothing, I'll say, okay, thank you, see you later. Because without visibility, you can't manage a team properly. There is an old saying, it says, you can't manage what you can't measure. You can manage what you can measure. Basically. Right? You agree, Manar?
Yeah, well said.
Sounds good. So I will wrap for today. But before I wrap, I will highly encourage you to go to HubSpot Academy. There is a HubSpot website, which is a famous CRM. They have an academy there on their website where you can take free courses on CRM. Okay, and most of the CRMs are similar. So if you got there and you took some courses about how to build the CRM properly, how to build the pipeline, how to build the automations and things like that on HubSpot, it's going to be very similar with other stuff. So this is a very good resource that you can go and check out if you want to be CRM experts in the future. All right? Thank you, everyone. Have yourself a beautiful day. It was a great session. Thank you.